Yeah, I mean, that's freaking, that's Warcraft 1, guys. Honestly, in terms of the remaster, obviously, this was my first time playing the game. I think from what I can see that they've done a good job with the remaster. I think it's been really fun. There was a few things that was odd, them changing the orc ending from the other one to the new one. But besides that, I can't really speak too much from the old to the new. I think in some cases I preferred the older style because there was some walls in the missions where it was difficult to see, like in the dead mines, and I thought it was the ground, and I switched to the old settings and it was a lot easier to distinguish. I will say the music, I liked it a lot. It can get very repetitive if you get stuck for a while, and it can, because there's not really a lot of tracks. So the music can get a bit repetitive, but I actually really enjoyed it a lot overall. It makes for a good change in pace going from orc to human with a different style music as well. I do wish there was more voice lines, for sure. I know I'm bashing a bit on it because it's an older game, but like seeing Corona and then just having her do the exact same voice as the peons in the city is so silly. Or like you meet was it Lothar Lane? And then there's like, it's like the same thing. Yes sir, yes lord, my lord, right? It's the same. I wish there was a new voice lines, or like different voice lines. The game sound, again with the soundtrack, it's very cluttered. I wish I could go into the options and then turn up voice line, because sound effects and voice line is the same thing. So I want the voices to be louder when I'm getting the briefings and stuff like that, but I don't want them to be that loud that like I can't hear my ear starts bleeding when I'm fighting stuff, right? That I didn't really like that much. Gold mines collapsing was a fun jump scare. I thought that was really funny. The gold mines just explodes essentially. Also, dude, the moment when we were on the orc mission and you could hear that fire elemental like door, and then it was like freaking knocking on the door. That was like a jump scare, which I really liked. So the sound design overall I think is good. The missions, I preferred the orc missions, but that's just a personal preference. But it's really fun to see where WoW came from. It's not the same lore. A lot of it is retconned. A lot of it isn't really the same anymore. But it's so fun seeing like a different perspective on the game I've played for so long. I think I thought that was great. Also, I love that it's more Warcraft. You know, like WoW nowadays, or World of Warcraft nowadays, is a lot of like, it's a lot less like about war and like, you know, all that stuff, and it's a lot different. Yeah, it's a bit different, you know, like the orcs killing their own kin, the rage with Manaroth's blood filling over them and stuff like that. That was really sick. Everybody's nice and WoW, we want war. Exactly. Also, seeing the new zones in a different light, like Swamp of Sorrows being the Black Morass and stuff like that, was awesome. You sure helped killing your own kin? Okay, that's kind of fucked up. The awesome victory thing I think was hilarious. A lot of the words that were used to describe some things were kind of interesting to me too. The change of pace for the missions were also good. Like going from like learning the game in the beginning with building like your farms and your barracks, and then like, you know, actually having an RTS match, and then going into the dead mines and exploring and doing like some more missions without having to build, I thought was interesting too. Gameplay was fun. Being able to control all your units and having control groups was great. But I will say, I was getting very triggered with the way that the units walk around. Because the pathing and the AI for the human, or for the units, are horrible in this game. And that is probably my biggest pet peeve with the whole game. Like, whenever you're in dead mines, there's a big roundabout. You can't just click on the map to go there, because they're gonna just start moving into the wall. It's just the janky feel of an old game, but that's like my main gripe, right? But it's an old game, what can you say? It's a very bare-bone RTS though, very bare-bone. Back in the day, this was peak gaming. Oh, for sure, yeah, definitely. And honestly, Turamus, I will say the game holds up great. I think the game holds up fantastically well. I mean, I had an absolute blast playing this. The different factions were also quite balanced. But I feel like once you realized how strong elementals were, and once you realized how good catapults were, and then the archers, it became a very like, okay, you just gotta rush to the elementals and you win, right? Render distance is horrible. I am so glad that they moved. I don't know if this was in Warcraft 2 that they moved on to this, or Warcraft 3, but thank God they moved away from the fog of war being infinite and the fog of war being so close to you. At least when you move in Warcraft 3, there's a little bit of a thing around you, right? Which is great. But in vanilla, in Warcraft 1, it's so difficult. Oh, is it 12 units? It's 12 units. Yeah, I think to summarize my experience with the game, it's a very fun RTS. And I really enjoyed playing it. Is it kind of scuffed? Yes, it is. Is it something that I would play a lot? No, but I think for the novelty of playing an old Warcraft game, it's definitely worth it if you've been thinking about it. It feels innocent in a good way with the awesome victory stuff in the lore, but it's also like very brutal, which is sick. You know, it's very simple. It's like Warcraft, and it feels like it's a game made by gamers, which I like. You know, it's supposed to be scuffed. Yeah. I think it was a great game. I had a very good experience with this. But I'm also really looking forward to Warcraft 2, though. I want to say the human ending is the same, but maybe I'm misremembering. Let's check the human ending. I just wanted to like recap a bit of my thoughts about the game, chat. Because it's nice to have a bit of a retrospective about playing the game, and it's also fun having a just talking about the game in general, right?
Blackrock Spire spell the final victory for the forces of Azeroth. With Blackhand slain and their stronghold destroyed, the few scattered orcs that remained were quick to bow before your might. A celebration ensued that lasted for many days and nights.
I like this better.
And joyous festivities resounding throughout the land.
Fireworks!
The people of the kingdom have come from miles around to gather at Stormwind Keep, and are delighted by a display of mystic sights and sounds provided by the court conjurers, while being treated to a feast of unequaled splendor.
How old was I when I tried Warcraft for the first time? Warcraft 1? That was this year. That was a few days ago. That's when I first played it.
Celebration, your ascension to the throne is acknowledged by your new subjects, and you are given the honorarium Defender
Yahoo!
of the Crown. As the evening celebration continues into the early hours of morning, you retire to the sanctity of your throne room.
Yeah, I don't know if they just didn't have time to change the outro. Or like the ending, but this is better.
The duty of ruling Azeroth is an awesome responsibility, and should prove to be your greatest challenge yet. Learning the
awesome responsibility
alone will be like sailing in
I love that
uncharted
wording.
waters. King Lane was renowned for ruling with a fair and just hand, and you resolved to be as proficient as he was. There is also the matter of discovering the exact location where the Orcish hordes entered into this world, and divining a way to end the threat of another invasion forever.
That was cool.
But that is a story for another time.
Well, there it is, guys. All right. Well, I think on that note, that's probably a good note to end today on.